Welcome to the part 2 of the 3-part video series where I'm going to show you how to create nice user interface to manipulate the data inside MySQL table. So in the first video we have been talking on how to design a website, how to add the data to the MySQL table and also how to display that data. And in this video too I'm going to show you how to make nice edit functionality so that we are able to modify the data inside that table, and also we are going to add the pagination to this table. So stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Sinead here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. So now I'm here at my PHP store and I already, as you can see, have a lot of the code, and this is all what we have coded in the part 1. So for those of you that are looking to download the source code, you will find the link in the description below. So first thing that I'm going to do is, as you can see, at the moment I don't have a lot of the data inside this table, so it's quite hard to make it look good or even to show the possibilities of this project. So I'm going first to MySQL Data Manager, that is our database. I will drop the current table and I'm going to import one table that I have already prepared, and I will hit go. And now inside this table we should have a lot of the data, and also I will include this SQL file inside the source code. So now if we refresh, everything should work. Yes, it is. And as you can see, we have a lot of countries and a lot of the data for those countries. So as you can see now, it's really hard to find this and we really need to scroll a lot. And if we want to find some specific country, it will be very hard. So first thing, I'm going to show you how to include one plugin for the jQuery, and this plugin will give us a lot of the functionality for this table. So let me show you now how to do it. So I will first go to the Google and find jQuery DataTable, and I will go to the download and I will go here, download the release package and download DataTables. Okay, so I will save everything. I will go to that folder and just delete this. So I will extract everything. I can delete this, and from the media I'm going to copy CSS and JS folder, paste here, and we'll delete this. So from this CSS and JS folder we don't need a lot of the things. So what I'm going to do is I will select everything, leave only this one, and I will just delete all of them. I hope so I didn't make any mistake. And here I will leave this one, and let me find this one. All other things I believe we can delete. So now let's include those inside our project. So for the style sheet, I will go here and say link relationship is style sheet and the ref is CSS DataTables Bootstrap. Okay, and now the same thing for our JavaScript. So I will go right here, I will type source, okay, and the sources, first I will include DataTables, and after that I will include the Bootstrap. Okay, so now let's just make sure we didn't make any mistake. I will press F12, refresh, and it all is looking good. So now first thing, so once the document has been loaded, and let's say once we have got all the existing data, I'm just going to call the DataTable plugin. So that actually is here. So once we have reached the max, it means that there isn't any more data. So I will say table, and I will set DataTable. Okay, so let's see what we have got. Refresh, loading data, and as you can see now we have nice hover effect. We are able to show different number of rows. Okay, and here we have one really nice pagination, and also here, well, we are able to search for the country, so I can say Bosnia, and you can see how fast I have found my country. So this is extremely useful in most cases. And of course we are able to click on any of the headers, for example ID, and as you can see we are sorting the table on different ways. So this is extremely useful plugin, and as you can see we just need to include few libraries and call it this way, which is extremely great. Of course there are some other functionalities that we can add or manipulate, disable, whatever we want, and I do have another tutorial that is already on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go really deep about this table you can do it. So here I will just increase this number, so I want to load 50 countries by one call. So yeah, it's now a lot faster and also much easier for our server. Anyway, if we now click on the add new, you can see that this part is working. So now we want to focus on this edit button, and once we click here we want to display the pop-up again and also be able to modify the country name and also the other information that are stored in the database. So first I'll go to the ajax.php file, and here for those buttons there is button with edit, and here I will say on click, and let's say we will have one function that will receive one parameter, and inside this, and that parameter will be ID of the table row, because we want to be able to call the server, make Ajax call, and get all the informations for that specific country. So here I will also say table row, and let's say I will specify here one ID, and I will say country and put this ID, because I want to be able that once the person changed the name, we are able to directly update it inside our table too. Not only MySQL table, but the table that is displayed in the browser. And now inside index.html file we need to write the function edit, so I'll say edit, and here I will see one parameter, it will be row ID. So here I can just, so maybe we can just copy this. Okay, so it's faster, and here our key will be let's don't make a multiple functions, that's what I was thinking. because I'm coding from my head, I don't have any script or anything. So here I will say key, and also I will say here edit, which I will set to the true or false, and depending on that I will send different data. So let's say I will copy this and say here data, okay, like this, and here I will say if edit var, no, we'll just say data equal this, and by default edit will be set to the false, so I will say var data equal this. Okay, so name, short description, long description, that is by default. Or let's say we will just to our model add one hidden button. I'll say hidden, and ID will be editing row ID, and here we will say value is 0 by default. So here we will also get that one, edit row ID, and we will pass this ID too. So we will say here row ID is edit dot wall. Okay, so now that's okay, that is fine. And function edit will receive one parameter row ID. Okay, so we didn't change anything, and here I will just use this Ajax okay, and here I'll say my key is edit, or no, get row data, data type will be JSON, and row ID will be row ID. And let's say here that we are going to append this data, so we will say country name dot wall response dot name. Okay, so this one will be short description, and this one will be long description. Okay, short description or long description. Of course, to the one that is hidden we will set to the row ID, and also at the end we are just going to show our pop-up. Okay, and now let's write the part inside PHP. So we'll say here if is set post get row data. Okay, we will have one row ID equal connection row ID. Alright, and now we are going to get that data. So say SQL equal connection query select country name, short description and long description from country where ID equal row ID. We'll see the data equal SQL fetch array, and now I just love to do it this way, so I'll say JSON array that we are going to use will be array, and here I can say country name equal data country name. Okay, short description, and this is a long description, and we are going to return to our jQuery this array, but we are going to encode this array. Okay, so now inside our jQuery we'll be able to say response.country_name, response.short description, response.long description. So here I have set name, so let's make a change. Okay, and let's make a test. Let's see what will happen. So now if I click here, you can see that I have got some data. Okay, so now let's press F12 and see what will happen behind the scenes. So I will click on this country, edit, and as you can see we have made Ajax call, and by the server it's returned JSON object, country name Albania, short description is that, and so on. Alright, that looks good. And also let's see, did we updated our hidden one? Yes, as you can see edit row ID is 2. So now let's close this, open this, and as you can see the edit row ID is changing, which is like really good. Okay, so now the next thing is we need to make a functionality for this save button, because at the moment it is only trying to save, but we need to make it different for edit. So what we are going to do, we are going to find this button. We can define some ID, let's say save or manage btn, and then all we are going to do is to change onClick, event and value. So I will say here inside edit, I'll say manage btn dot attribute value will be save change, and also I will say here dot attribute on click will be manage data, and I will just change the key manage data, and the key will be, so let me make this alphabet simpler for you, update row. Okay, and let's see what will happen. So we are going to refresh. So now when I hit edit, you can see now that this button has been changed, and if I do a right click and inspect, you can see now that this onClick method has been changed to the onClick. Yeah, it's manage data with the key update row, which is cool. So now we have already made this function, so all we need to do is write on the server side for this new key. So I will copy this, go to the Ajax, and here I will say like this, and here, since this key is update row, I will say connection real escape string post, and we are looking for this row ID. So row ID. So for other things we can ignore this row ID, but let's move it here. And now let's say we want to update our table, so I'll say connection query, and I'll say update country, set country name equal name, short description equal short description, long description equal long description, where ID equal row ID, and I will say exit success. So let's just test this. Refresh. F12. I want to see what is Ajax cool, so I'll hit edit. So first is to get this data. After that I will hit save change. Let's say I will say here Afghanistan 2, save change, and as you can see the response is success. I will say okay, and yeah, everything is looking good. Let's now check our table manually, and as you can see it is updated, which is awesome. So here we'll say we don't need to say anything, but we can say here that if response equal different than empty, we will alert, okay? Or maybe better than different than success. So that's it. And now if it's different we will alert, else if everything is okay, that means that we have edited this data and that we are going to close the model, and also that we are going to update inside the table that is inside the browser. So we'll say here table manager model.hide, okay, and here I will say also that country with this row ID .html name.wo, which means we want to update. And also I'm just going to return back the change to the button, to this one. So I will just say here value is save, or maybe add, and the key is add new, if I remember correct. Yeah, it is. Okay, and we can also say that name.wall is empty, The same thing is for short description and long description. Okay. Let's make a test. So now refresh. I'm going to edit. I'm going to change this. Hit save change. And it is working, but only this hasn't been changed. So let's see, maybe I'm wrong. So it should be country underscore dot ID. So hashtag country underscore, and it needs to be this. Okay, my bad. Let's, so this one needs to be above. So let's test again. I'll go to the edit, add some save changes, and now it works good. If we refresh, it's fine. Edit, let's delete again, hit save changes, and it works just great. Anyway guys, I hope that this is also very simple and useful tutorial for you guys. Now we have made a lot of the functionalities, and in the part 3 we are going to talk about how to view and delete the data from this MySQL table. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and also if there is anything that you don't understand or whatever it might be, also you can ask that. And if you like this tutorial, please like it and share it to your friends. Take care.